Or if there's no questions, that's okay too. No questions, no questions. I mean, there's a point to it where it's a little straight, and that's not very straightforward, but it's a little straightforward.
Your level range, the green box, is it
Yes.
still there?
I believe so. Yes, still here.
Okay. And what was holding the bottom of that up?
The reverse level here. So you have just reverse level against reverse level.
Trying to see it.
Let me delete all the other stuff so you can just kind of see it. Like you've got two reverse levels, right? You've got a reverse level against a reverse level. This is your classic Pandora's box, right? Or your mirroring situation where levels targeting level 4 hour to 4 hour to 4 hour to 4 hour to 4 hour. Remember, these points of polarity have one time frame up. So technically it's kind of an hourly, not as a reverse level, it's not, but you've got a reverse level targeting a reverse level. The second one of these two sides of the chart start laddering without targeting the reverse level is the moment that you can see it's breaking and it's setting you up your 15-minute reverse, take the 15-minute hold. Just get in the trade, 15-minute hold. You might have even been able to get into a 5-minute hold here. I don't know. Maybe there's a combo level 5-minute that gets hit a little better, but at that point, I don't think I'd be missing that trade over trying to get the combo. Yeah, like you've got a slightly better entry here on a 5, but you measure that against the 15 and you're breaking a range and you're going to miss a range break to a 10%, 1000% trade on 100x over saving 6%, 0.06. Like it just doesn't, RA sense, it doesn't make any. And then even then you had a second entry here that was like you can see the range breaking. You can physically see this range breaking with 15 to 15 reverse creates the ladder of the 15s and then breaks the hour. Like you can physically see the range snapping. So when you get a big 10% pump like that, it's not, people are always hyped up on news and this and that. Or just whatever they say. I don't know, man. Like, oh, whatever. There's like a million reasons why people say this, but you can engineer it. You can engineer the cause and reaction. The creation, cause, and reaction, I should say. Yeah, so today we'll go over level ranges.
Your range definition there, you kind of made it smaller so you could show the levels holding it, right?
Yeah. Like this, so this should be like if I was to attach it, it would be attached to this, just so I could highlight the levels. Because if I click the levels like that, it's just
Okay.
gonna pick the box. Like I can't actually highlight the level, so I just make it a little smaller for the video.
That range there is like is technically a Pandora's box.
Yeah, like 15 minutes. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's Pandora's boxes everywhere on your chart. There's 1 minute levels that target 1 minute levels, and they're a total of 10% on 100x. So 0.1 we're talking about. So there's Pandora's boxes everywhere. But if a 1 minute level breaks and the 3 minute is holding it, 5 more percent away, like there's not. Okay, 11% total trade, like, or whatever it was, 10% and 5%, 15%, or whatever I first said, it's there's Pandora's boxes everywhere on the charts. Just understanding about like the ranges and what's the controllers.
Yeah. And that is the controller, that 15, and it's polarized. It's creating the top of the range.
Yep.
Technically, so I've only seen this in these examples where it literally is the level that's like laddering the move. It has to hold. If it breaks, the range is breaking, the larger range is breaking, and the internal range.
Yep.
But because it's polarity, technically you could rebuy that level as an
the 15-minute
entry.
reverse.
Yes, but on the other side.
Oh, you could buy that 15-minute reverse. It's polarity to polarity. You could buy those polarity points, whether 15, 4 hour, 1 day, or 1 minute. You could buy the polarity to polarity on either side. You could constantly bounce back and forth between polarity for the next, I don't know, 5 years if you wanted, but you would just be cycling larger time frame trends and etc. But then the second you have a hold level that executes, that's, you just rewind back to this moment here where you have a hold level against a hold level. Like you can even simplify this so much, and you have a hold level against a hold level. So technically right now you're just Pandora. You should short this and go to here. If you were truly just playing the 100% mechanical theory right here, you would just take a 30% trade, right? Because then it should Pandora's box between this. But like what happens, right? So you take a trade there. If you were triggering out, you'd have to see this reject and you'd trigger right back out on this, because at that point it's saying, no, the bottom side could hold. So like the next step in this trade would be like, okay, you've taken a short here. If it for some reason goes up here, you have to exit your trade here, because that's just telling you RA wise, like you're going to have an opportunity to enter here and it hold, and it could hit here and it could go down right here, and you would do the same thing and exit right here because all things equal on both sides. So like this trade, if you were shorting this, you would say, look, our reverse levels finally created a hold level. Like you created a 15-minute hold level here, and you created a 15-minute hold level here. Like it's the same thing as this right here. It's a mirror scenario of this. And then instead of one of them holding, it goes after the hourly level. So the hourly level is just now going to go, or sorry, not that. Well, it is an hourly level, but this is why I moved the box down because I can't see it. Now you've got that 15-minute reverse level. So then technically you should just short this and exit here. But in this case, you've targeted the 15 and the hourly, so you did the same thing on the bottom. So maybe an entry would be better here, but a trade exit for profits would have been better here, because all things are just equal 100% through and through here. There's no difference between any of these. And then like as this trade unfolds, you're just sitting here in a short at this level being like, oh, cool, like it's going to work. I'm going to make 30%. And then you're just like, yep, awesome. And, you know, like cool. And then it's like, oh, it targeted the hourly. That's fine. Oh, it targeted the reverse. Okay, now I need to exit here because we might actually end up just going here, bouncing this and breaking up. So you kind of have to exit this for RA standard reasons here. You can't just kind of hold the short and be like, well, it's holding trend. No, you kind of have to exit here and have the assumption that it's going down to here. And in a worst case scenario, you could then, or I mean, I shouldn't say worst case scenario, but then in a logical scenario, you could just enter here and do the exact same thing and say, like, if this holds, this is all gone and we break the range anyway, so we're flying. And if I do enter here, you know, I can just hold the trade. If not, it's going to hit this and then I just exit here, because then what's going to happen is it's going to hit this reverse level and then it might actually just hit this and it might actually just hard close it and then lose the range down. So you're just kind of in a scenario where you're taking automatics. These are automatics for very obvious reasons. You're taking automatics against inside of a mirror to see which side of polarity is breaking, because you don't, this isn't like you have daily trends that have to engineer down into 4s, that have to engineer down into 1s, into 15s. Like your hourly is your master time frame here for the range. Your master time frame is the hourly. So if you've got a master time frame, then and it's the hourly, like you're cutting out a lot of the information you would have had to go through prior. So then you just walk through the trade and you're sitting there, you're like, okay, I exited break even, because this is the scenario where it can hit that and then it doesn't actually get back under it and you just start closing over top of the trend and you're gone. So like this, you're out of the trade. You entered this 15 because you thought you can make 30% little scalp. This hit, you're already out of the trade. Next step, you're either taking this here or this here. You're likely taking this here with the same ideology that it's going to hit this 15. You can just exit there. It has a slight amount of risk associated, but not too much. And the, you know, so like, fine, you go here and you don't quite get a perfect exit. You go here, you start going down, and then you kind of market exit somewhere just below this. So like, what is your, in a worst case scenario, what are you really talking about? Okay, so fine, you've lost a quarter of a trade. And that's in an absolute worst case scenario where polarity has snapped on the bottom, where you did take the chance on the 15 to hold it to break up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the point is that you can see when this move is breaking very, very simply and very easily. So then you get this whole thing where it's like, oh my God, the move tried to break up, because that was the scenario you're worried about, right? Like if you entered a short right here and you go to these, and this is the scenario you're worried about. You're worried about it snapping up and breaking the move. So now like, what are we talking about now? You've entered a short here and you've now gone into this like really, really dark territory where like this will liquidate you on some trades, like 55%, 54%. This might liquidate you. So that's what you're worried about. That's the concern here with just indefinitely holding the move. And I think people do that a lot. I think they see a trend and they indefinitely hold a move. But you can see now why that doesn't make sense, because if you've entered here on this 15-minute inverse to short it, and then you've gone to the 15-minute, like you need to get out of that trade because you're threatening to break the range, and it's very straightforward and it's very simple. And then if you do go and see this side, this trade holding here, and let's just say you entered this, I think at this point it's quite obvious that you are likely not going to target this, because you're already starting to, there's a couple things happening here. You're potentially, okay, so you've got a break level. So you're potentially creating a higher time frame here, which is bad news for shorts. You're also potentially targeting like a 1-minute hold level here or something. And now you've only got maybe like a 3-minute level here. You're starting to create architecture that's going to break the move without as much notification. Because if you created a 1 minute to a 3 minute to a 5 minute that has to hold, and if this holds, you're not going to get a chance to re-enter the next 15. You might have created the architecture that's actually just going to snap the range. So like, it's not looking good for shorts is the impression that you get right now. And so if you did enter this trade here, really it should have been here, but if you did enter this trade here, you can simply just look for re-entry because you are being shown the range on the top is breaking and it's polarized against the final moment on the trend. Look, you even got a second entry chance and it held that 15 minute twice. That should also be a tell sign. You've now held this hold level 2 times. Look, you tried to hold it once, you tried to hold it twice, 3 times, 4 times. Finally, it snaps up. Move is starting to tell you it's breaking. On the bottom side, the same thing can happen. Hold it once, hold it twice, hold it 3 times, hold it 4 times, and then it snaps this way, right? But that's not the case here. You hold the move and you create another 15. Every single tell that a poker player could have, and if we were to think of that in the charts, every single tell on the table is being given to you. People are scratching their faces, they're blinking, they're sweating, they're shuffling their cards. Whatever tell bad poker players have that you pick up on this is the identical scenario here. You have held a 15 minute against the reverse that's snapping the range. You have created a new 15 minute, retargeted that range that's snapping the move. The level range here is showing you that this thing is going to break. You should have 100% entered this 15 minute here. There should be no reason why this 15 minute isn't entered, and it hits right there. And then c'est la vie, and the move is gone, and you've got 1,000% profits in your pocket because you understood the level range. And it was very easy to pinpoint because if you go back to all of this engineering, do you know how simple we found this in the last lesson? I can show you once again how simple it was. Let's go take a look. All we did was go here and be like, oh, cool, there's the high of the move. Yep, visually, it's literally the highest point. So we've done about the most basic thing we can as human beings. We've looked at this and measured the height. We have then followed a simple set of rules to move down to find the white candle, bang, or the accumulation candle, I should say. Found the accumulation candle, bang, everything's engineerable. And RIP, you've got free trades, automatics, setups, simply because we could visually measure the height of a candle like this, and it's as simple as this one is a little lower than this one. Okay, we use this one. Okay, let's go down time frames. Let's just start at the top and just work our way down time frames. And then you were given the whole entire master time frame plans and schematics. It's like I said, it's almost comical.